been a few years since the last one, since 2012, and that isn't because I didn't want to bring it out, just because I've been living my life. I've been traveling a lot, traveling doing music in different countries, different parts of the world. And so last year, my producer and I, GP, we just really sat down and said, let's just complete this album and focus on what people love about us and what we love about the music that we make. And so, yeah, man, that's it, man. I'm almost done. If anybody's familiar with my music, it's very personal. So a lot has happened in those years in terms of like relationships. So the whole album's about relationships, my relationship with a young lady, my relationship with the church, and then my relationship with God. So how all of that stuff has been panning out over the last 2.5 years. So I wrote a bunch of songs about that, you know? When you make an album like So It Begins, and then you make another album like So It Continues, which people have said, you know, are very good albums, you know what I mean? You kind of feel the pressure on yourself to recreate those moments, and you think, man, like, can we replicate a Sure Thing? Can we replicate a Radical, a Tell 'Em All? And then, you know, try to fill out those things. So we spent a long time just trying to make an album that was like, okay, we gotta make another So It Continues, we gotta do this and that. But then GP and I, we just sat down and realized, listen, man, this is a new season, it's a new time in our lives. He's married, he's got a kid now, you know what I mean? So we're hashing out different things in our lives, and so let's just create for the here and now. So it was a long process of trying to find the sound that we wanted, and then once we found it, we just ran with it. I wish it was that clever to have a trilogy in mind. So we just literally said we're gonna make the album called So It Begins. It's gonna be about the introduction to me in ministry, struggles I'm having, just kind of working those out. At the end of So It Begins, Timothy Brindle says, So It Continues, like at the end of a song. And then afterwards, I was like, snap, that's gonna be the name of my album, my next album, So It Continues. And obviously, with the continuation, you gotta end the trilogy, you have to end it somewhere. And so here we are, So It Ends. I think one of the main things that I've just been thinking through over the last few years is just the diversity of the church and celebrating that, you know what I mean? So the diversity of, you know, coming to a different country and people from different backgrounds being able to relate to the music. So, like, by God's grace, I've been able to take my music to Africa, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, take my music to Toronto, Canada, and all over Canada. Well, not all over, you know what I mean? Shout out to the 6. Take my music to America, you know what I mean? All over America. And even just seeing, like, wow, these people know the music, they're part of the church, they love Jesus, they don't look nothing like me, some of them do, they're not my color, some of them don't even speak my language, yet we rally around this thing called Christian rap. We rally around this person called Jesus. I want to celebrate that. So looking at that theme and then writing a song, so I have a song on my album called The Crew, and just celebrating the fact that we're all different, we're all diverse, but we're all part of the same body, we're all part of the same crew. So It Ends is not the end, it's the end of the trilogy. So, you know, trilogy, So It Begins 2011, So It Continues 2012, and now So It Ends. So this will just be the end of the trilogy, not the end of me rapping. I already have another project idea that I want to run with towards the end of this year and then the beginning of next year that I can't tell you about before you ask me.
I guess you saw
just think Dragon Ball Z, that's all I'm going to say. Just think Dragon Ball Z. Well, 2015 is the year of ascension. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. So It Ends is coming, you know, it's definitely coming. It's been a lovely journey, you know what I mean? I'm thankful to the fans who have been supporting me from 2010 and even before that from the 5 Solas, and who have been waiting patiently for this body of work to come out, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I just try to make music that, 1, is good, and 2, glorifies God, and I think we've done that on this project, you know what I mean? I'm proud of this album. I think it's my magnum opus, it's my best project to date. People say that a lot, but this for me, this is it.